Guys, what's up? Denny back again with the build on the Hemi. Now, see, I got some tape. I kind of mocked everything up for you guys to see. I used the crinkle cast valve covers off the other one I made into a 409 because I didn't want to take these out of the bag until it was time. I'll put them on last just to keep them clean. But what I did was tear it apart for you. I just kind of set it together. Okay. Now if you look inside, you'll be able to see the 2260 kV motor mounted to the back of the block. Now if you notice, the block's a different color back here because on the 62 I used a piece of aluminum, and when I was getting a little aggressive with this, you can see it bubbled, overheated, and then just fell apart on me because it's pot metal. Really strong, but once you weaken it, you're screwed. I'll drop this apart. Now, inside, what I'm going to do, the head's actually glue on this thing, and I'm not real impressed with that. So what I do is I take a piece of angle iron aluminum, or angle aluminum I should say, not iron, and I set it inside here. I drill a couple of holes, I bolt it to this, then I drill a couple of holes here, and a couple of holes in the head, and then when you set it on there, you could bolt the head right on. That way it's totally serviceable if you have to tear it apart. And I do the same for the intake manifold too. Actually bolt the thing to the heads. Real simple. And then I put a couple of screws where I need to be. And on the inside, being it's a two-piece intake, it's a bathtub intake, I drill a hole down here and I put like a long bolt up to the very top back here, and I hide it right here. So you can unbolt everything, you don't have to glue nothing together. Like I said yesterday, I was going to drill through these in here. Some of these castings are really, really thin, and I kind of had to walk the drill to get the thing through it. But it's in now, it's ready to go. And you can see it looks like a open fillet of a fish here, but that's how it works, just like that right there. Now the cool thing is, take these heads off here, in the very front of the motor here, there's all kinds of room down under here. Now you can put your fan on your brushless motor. It has tons of room over here for your fan, no matter what size. I mean, this is a small one, but the big one, it's not that much bigger. Now down here on the very bottom, I think I'm just put a regular brush motor through here, hooked to the pulleys. So it runs as soon as you turn it on, the motor's running on its own. It's not going to rev, it's not going to go stupid. But what I have is a bag of bearings that, you know, we all have these bags of bearings around. So in behind the crankshaft, the water pump, and the alternator, I'm going to set up bearings with shafts, and I'm going to, you know, put them all together there. So, but I wanted to update you guys on the build today. Like I say, I mocked it up with some tape, tear it off, take the pan off. I'm going to screw that on too. But there it is. Very simple. Extremely strong unit. You got tons of room, being this is a quarter scale. The reason I'm using a quarter scale on a 5th scale car is because sizes and all that stuff are a little different when everybody else makes an item. Saying that, when you look under the hood of a car and you see like a really, really small engine in it, you're not very impressed at all. But when you look under the hood of a car and you see a monster engine, that right there, it's, you know, the bigger it is, the more powerful it is, right? Well, That's why I use the quarter scale Hemi motor for my projects. And they're available on eBay, Amazon. I've had some questions about that where you can get a die-cast motor. This is actually a model kit. Liberty Motors has Ford, Chevrolet, Chrysler, and they're already assembled. You have to tear them apart. And I've done that before, so that's not a big deal. But I did my last video. All these motors fit inside them motors too. So this is your Sen gst-e tranny, okay? And it's all hooked up, ready to roll. So I'll get me a fan online, usually Dollar Hobbies or somebody, has a fan on eBay. So I'll get the fan hooked up, and then I'll run all my wires outside. This little area right here that I left open, pull them in, pull them out. That way it's kind of scale. I might get in the way of this, but this here just like this physically slides in, slides out, and then lock it down. So if I want to do any pinion changes or adjustments, it's not going to get in the way of the wiring. The wiring's going to bring it out this way and just kind of run it through the cowl. And the cool thing about the Sen gst-e, you can actually unbolt the very bottom of this, and your whole center section comes right out. So you don't have to tear the motor all apart again. So, and you can see how much room is up in here. Now, this right here is the 1000 kV Leopard motor, which is humongous. It'll still fit underneath here and center on the crankshaft opening and fit the oil pan on it. So I don't really need that kind of a motor in there, but I'm just showing you the size comparison because I went over those, because that's like 3 1/4 inches long by 1.5 inches wide, and it still fits into the quarter scale motor. So that's what I did. That's my segment. I wanted to do a step-by-step build so you guys could actually see how I did it. I used a Dremel tool and a cutoff wheel to kind of cut out kind of a hexagon here, so I could just slide the motor in, outside of adjustment for my, if I wanted to change pinions or whatever, different tire sizes or whatever I wanted to do. And it still gives me plenty of room underneath here. It's not going to get in the way of if I want to put a brush motor down here and run my pulleys and all that stuff from. So that's my segment for today, guys. You say any questions, comments, or whatever. This is you know what this is, right? This is one of our little wrenches that we used to get in our Tamiya kits and all that stuff. And when you set that up there compared to the block itself, you can see the size of it. So it's pretty good size. So I'm going to keep on building and go from there. So one other thing I wanted to mention, though, being that I'm going to mount the motor in the front here, and I'm going to mount the transmission to the frame back here. I'm going to make my own mounts back here and weld them right to the frame, or bolt them, whatever, That way it'll keep the twist down on this. Even though it's strong and everything, you spend a lot of time on something, you don't want to screw it up. So, like I say, I'm going to mount this here for the heads, bolt the heads on, bolt the intake to the heads, everything will be cool. And like, share, subscribe. Any questions, comments, or something like that, hit me up. You guys had some really good questions or comments and stuff. So, it is what it is. I'll catch you later. I'm going to go throw a steak on the grill and have a few beers and make it a day. Maybe catch the NASCAR race. So, okay, guys. Adios.